The report, the budget report, was published by the Abia State government. But we now have the Commissioner for Budget and Planning say it is mischief on the part of the opposition. It's not the opposition in Abia that published that budget report. This was published by the government. And the government says, well, there are 73 MDAs. It's not the governor that was eating all the meals. This was for about 73 MDAs, government, the state as a whole. But you in charge of monitoring and evaluation. I would like your comments. And what are you likely to do going forward to make sure that the meals and the honorarium and the welfare packages, you advise the governor that those figures are a bit on the high side? Let's start with you.
Well, thank you. First of all, please, we would like to say that those are our numbers and we own them. And our numbers were published, fully responsible for the numbers, and they are completely correct. But, as they say, you can lie with statistics if you want to. What we're saying is this. We have a figure that talks about what has been spent on a particular item, which covers all the MDAs, the ministries, the departments, the agencies, and other arms of government. Now, for them to then say that it is for just a particular, the governor's office, is a mischief in it. For us, it's more important for us to step back. Let's not look at the trees. First of all, it's a lie. Even for that particular figure, for the entire state, the MDAs, is 223 million. And the 223 million has to do with issues of the commissioning of activities, the special events that we do, people who come and, we met a completely derelict system. And we are revising everything. So all the things that you see are the things that deal with all the expenditure across the board. But more importantly, we're happy. We're happy that for the first time, we can send something out there, people are talking to us, and the social contract which we signed with the people is being exercised. The people are asking questions, and we're responding. I don't think that what they have given out, 923 million, no, it's 223 for the entire spectrum. Ministries, departments, and agencies.
Okay, so briefly you're saying your own data that you gave out is wrong? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not. What we're saying is, they are looking at classification, and I said you can lie with statistics. You can look at a particular figure and say...
So, whoever is lying with statistics will get to decide. There's another talk of this PH Road project in Aba of 6 kilometers at 35 billion. Was there due diligence done as regards that project? Because people have raised concerns about that project. And secondly, I have copious notes here in the Vanguard newspaper that talked about the governor saying he was not going to collect security votes, and that he was going to use it for the people, but now we've seen the security votes number increase. What is going on as regards that?
But let me answer the very first one, which is about the Port Harcourt Road.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows Aba will tell you that the Port Harcourt Road is it's like saying that you closed Ikorodu Road, and it's been closed for 30 years. There was a budget that was put out some years back of about 8-9 billion, and nothing was done. People's houses were knocked down. We got Julius Berger. People said it couldn't be done. For the first time in the history of the state, in a long time, Julius Berger is back. The World Bank is coming. All the people who they thought would never come to Abia State have come in. We showed them Julius Berger. Everybody knows.
Okay, so is that 35 billion justified?
It's not 35, it's 32. And
22 billion. And was it transparently announced? Was due process followed in that contract? That's number one. Yeah, so go ahead, talk about that.
Okay, thank you. The figure is 30 billion. It's not.
In fact, it's 32. Then they gave us a discount of 2 billion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's
30 billion.
It's
verifiable. So is it justified and was due diligence followed in that contract?
Of course. Yes.
Was it advertised?
If you go to, of course they did. Go to Ministry of Works and you lay hand on the information there. The truth is that the opposition, just because we have to say the opposition, they expected us that if a government is awarding a contract, I am not the one to announce it. It is the Minister of Works that does it. People will bid, and that was exactly what happened. It was done through the Minister of Works, and the road in question is not 5.7 kilometers. It's 6.8 because it starts from Asa Road, not from.
Not 6 kilometers, yeah.
So yes, it is not from number 1 Port Harcourt. It's from Asa Road. What they awarded in 2017 started from Port Harcourt Road, and it was 5 point something kilometers at 9 point something billion. That was in 2017. You can do the math and see the difference. And now, what, like he rightly mentioned, this is Julius Berger, a reputable construction company, and this is a federal road. It's important.
Because we don't have time. So
it's a federal road, because we could go back to ask.
You're saying it's justified. Also, let's talk about security votes. Why did the security votes increase tremendously?
Okay, let me do a flow.
Yes. And the government promised he was not going to take security votes. I have on record here in Vanguard newspaper that he said that.
What the governor explained, and of course he did it in different campaign grounds. We were used to people using our security votes as their personal money. At the point, people assumed that security vote is the fund that the governor can use at his discretion, which is wrong. So the governor said, I wasn't going to do this. The governor, of course, you require security votes to fight insecurity in your state. And you were aware of what we met on ground on assumption of office. Look at Law Panther, people were being kidnapped and killed. Just a few weeks ago, you saw the documentary done by Al Jazeera. You saw skeletons, you saw decomposed and decomposing bodies.
So that's why the security vote increased.
I'm coming again. There were arrears on assumption of office. Securities in the state met with the governor, said they were being owed months of arrears. He started with them, they discussed. Okay. He started to defray these arrears. A whole lot of things. You saw the equipment, you saw what had been done. You saw the homeland security people that are being owed by this government. A whole lot of things. So the facts are there. They know that the governor is prudent. If you come to the state and speak to the people, if you come and see what's on ground, we are doing here for the sake of people outside. But when you come to the state, you will agree with me that the people are involved with the government and the facts are there for anyone to see. And at that appropriate time, we support you people to come and take a look at what is on ground.
We have an armada of personnel from Abia State. That shows how important these subjects are to you. But let's hear from Ferdinand Ekoma, the special advisor media.
That's Ferdinand Ekoma.
You are Ferdinand.
Yes, I'm Chinedu Ekeke.
You are Chinedu Ekeke. Okay.
Yes, please.
He's our deputy chief of staff.
When you storm our studio with 3 persons, we can mix up the identity. But you are deputy chief of staff.
That's understandable.
Okay. I'd like you to talk about what Governor Alex Otti has been doing since he assumed office.
Okay.
Because, he's been a newspaper columnist, he's been in the private sector, and he came into that office with very high promise and expectations, right? What have you guys been doing beyond meals and welfare packages? Can you give us an idea?
All right, thank you so much, Doc. It's very good to be here. And I like the question because it helps me highlight how Dr. Alex Otti is actually a different leader. When we came on board on May 29, the first thing we did was to look at the budget we inherited. Very important because, this is the governor who has been writing, who has been saying, look, we have to be prudent. And that reflected in what happened when we took over. So we looked at the budget and we were looking at certain line items and we felt, look, this area, for instance, in the office of the SSG, we had to say, look, this budget needs to be reduced to something different. So we combed through all the line items to shed, cut off something reasonable from them and moved it to the Ministry of Works. What we inherited, the budget we inherited was 17.4 billion in the Ministry of Works. We increased that to 30.4 billion. And that explains why in 5 months, Governor Alex Otti commissioned 6 roads in Aba. It's everywhere. You can find out. You are big in the media space. You can call people in Abia State to ask them if that is what is happening. That explains why we are running a zero pothole policy in Abia State. In Omaha, in Aba, if you see any pothole that hasn't been fixed, that means it will soon be fixed. That's what we are doing. That explains why we renovated the General Hospital in Amachara, right? It was just there. And then we came in, renovated it, and bought equipment. That explains why if you go to the diagnostic center, just opposite FMC in Omaha, you won't believe it. Because it was a center, and then at some point the state government had a partnership with Mikio, Mikio in Oshodi, and then they were running it. At a point they couldn't because there was no support from the state government. They ran away, they fled. We renovated that, we bought equipment. If you go there, they perform eye surgeries. In fact, I know of people from my community, about 15 of them, that had done eye surgeries in that place in the last 2-3 weeks. So this is part of what we are doing. And then the most important thing is that there's this new lease of life in Abia State. Just go around, ask people, ask keke people. People, you know what happens? There is no more agberos. We don't have them in Abia State. So keke people park and then go to POS operators or bring out their phones and just pay their taxes without anybody having to grab them, having to beat them, having to punch them to do what they ought to do. So Alex Otti is redefining governance in Abia State. And we are not just the people saying it. People of Abia State are the ones saying it. They are seeing the change. The Port Harcourt road that Mazi just talked about, the road had been abandoned. And I think we sent the video of that to somebody. It needs to be shown. If you see the level of excavation that Julius Beja is doing on that road right now, because it was totally abandoned. I was seeing reactions on Twitter yesterday when they saw that video, and people were saying, can you say that this has been a road? And yes, a major road in Abia State. If you come to Omaha, the entrance to Omaha, as you are entering the state capital, it looks like just a glorified village. If you come there now, Cranborg is working heavily day and night to ensure that the road is expanded to 6 lanes. These are the things that Alex Otti is doing. And we are not a government of Coke and Fanta. We are not really here to talk about feeding, budget. If it's about feeding and budget, okay, maybe this might sound insignificant. The government eats once a day. I eat once a day. I'm not a food person. Most of us in the administration, we don't care about food, right? So that we can't be bringing the very big issue of governance to Coke and Fanta and Sprite and pepper soup.
So has Julius Berger started on that road?
Yes.
Prior to that time, was already a culvert or a gutter dug on that road before now? So that's another question. Thirdly, why is that the IGR numbers are plummeting and reducing in the state?
Exactly.
Here's an explanation.
Let me tell you about that road.
Yes. Was there culvert done already before now?
Culvert?
Or gutter done on that road?
It's not a gutter issue. $58 million was taken for the construction of a deep tunnel years back, because we must prepare that road for proper evacuation. If you don't take out the storm water, it's a problem. The $58 million, nobody knows where it's gone to. Instead, something else was done and it failed. This is a road that, just because Julius Berger has come in and they are taking their time to try and drain that road, land values are going up, asset values are going up, people are going back. A whole school turned into a refuse dump now is being turned into, that's the Igbo National High School. Crystal Park, a 5-star hotel in Aba, was abandoned. Land values are going up there. Now let me tell you a little bit about the kind of government that we have. We have somebody from EU that we called in, former director, CEO of Microsoft, former somebody from FEMA. We have how many professors? These are people who left their jobs, their personal interests, to come and run the state. So it's a new.
Because we need to wrap up by 10. Yeah, okay, you can talk further quickly, but tell me about why the IGRs are going down.
IGR, the governor believes. The governor believes.
Let him speak. Tell me why the IGRs are going down.
Thank you. During the campaigns, the governor repeatedly said something. He defined tax as government share of the prosperity it has created amongst people, and said, if you've not created prosperity, you have no moral grounds to ask for tax. So on assumption of office, he gave tax holidays. Flying revenues, everything was stopped. Nobody was paying because he needed to do something. The people were like people who were in bondage. So for several months, it was just about a little over a month ago that we started collecting tax. So we are writing the history. We are setting the structures in place. In the past, Agberos will chase you, force you, do all kinds of things, and we knew that these things were affecting ease of doing business. So we needed to take these things away. We knew we were going to pay the price, but we have started the process
of had a tax freeze. That's why the IGR reduced. Tell me about the Port Harcourt road as we wrap up. Quickly.
All right. When the people we took over from awarded the contract, it was at 9 billion. They owned up to that. They said it was 9 billion. That was when dollar was 305, right? And that was about $29.5 million. And they broke down people's houses, demolished everything, no compensation was paid.
I think that said before.
No, but it's important, it bears repeating, it bears emphasizing, right? They broke down everything, no compensations were paid. Today, if you check 30 billion naira, it is less than that amount of money that they spent.
Have you paid compensations now?
We are paying compensations. In fact,
you are paying, or have you paid?
We have paid.
We have paid. Let me add.
So you've not paid compensation for
Let me add.
No, we're not demolishing anything. We're not
demolishing anything. We didn't need to pay. But in Abia Tower, between Abia Tower,
for the first time in the history of the state, people are demolishing their own houses themselves because of the way we went about it. We had town hall meetings.
Thank you very much.